Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Jezreel Talks. My name is Sadie, and I'm your host for today. I am one of three hosts here on Jezreel Talks. I moved from the U.S. I'm currently living in Ghana, and my mission here is to help people who want to do the same. Okay, so I'm going to start off this series talking about the 6 things that I noticed when I arrived in Ghana. Okay, and so if you're interested, in content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel and also clicking the notification bell so that you can be notified when new videos are posted and also clicking the like button. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump right into today's talk. 6 things that I noticed when I arrived in Ghana. All right, family. So the first thing that I noticed, I have my notes here. The first thing that I noticed when I arrived in Ghana is the amount of businesses that have biblical references in the name, right? And so you'll see businesses with the that have the name Adonai, have the name Yahuwah, Yahusha, God, Lord, Jesus. You'll see businesses that are referencing blessings, and I mean, you name it. If you can find it in the Bible, then more than likely there's a business around here that has that saying, that word, that name in in the name of the business. And so that's one of the first things that I noticed. I was like, okay, all of these businesses have names of people in the Bible or some type of biblical reference associated with it. So for me, that was something that was refreshing, something I did not uh, expect to see, but it was a pleasant surprise. So that would be my number one. All right. So number two is that the food is spicy. Okay, the food is spicy, and so they have what they call pepe or pepper, or I don't know if I'm even saying it right. If you're a Ghanaian, please comment down below and let me know, am I saying it right? Right, but there's pepper. There's spice. Hot pepper, okay, and so me, I'm sensitive to spices like that. Anything that's hot and too spicy, I won't be able to eat it. I'll try my best because it tastes so good, but at the end of it, the meal, I'm like, I got streaming down water from my eyes, my nostril, like it turns into a whole entire situation, right? And so if you're sensitive to spicy food, then you might want to consider opting for the non-spicy option. So they do have non-spicy options here, but just be aware that the majority of the food here does come with a kick. It comes with a little bit of spice. And so if you're sensitive to that, then you might want to consider the non-spicy items, right? So the non-spicy options. All right, so that is my number 2. Okay, so my number 3 would be that Ghana, I've noticed, is a cash based system, right? They operate off of a cash based system, right? So while credit cards can be used here, this is a place where cash is king, okay? And so if you want to go to the local markets, if you want to go to or use Bolt or Uber or Yango, things of that nature, you can use your credit cards through the app, but if you have cash, then people are they move a little bit faster, and you can get things done a little bit faster and smoother, I should say, right? And so just be aware, like you can use your credit cards here, but in at the local stands or the local markets, you'll be able to move a lot faster and quicker if you have cash with you. All right, and so you can do. If you're living in some of the rural areas that people think twice about driving out there, if you're using Uber, Bolt, or Yango, if you set up your account to use cash, then people would consider, okay, I'll take the drive out there because they're paying with cash as opposed to paying with credit card, and they have to wait in order to receive their payment. So just keep that in mind and consider that. Ghana is a cash based society. Cash is king. Credit cards are accepted here, but cash will get things done for you a lot faster. All right, so that is my number 3. All right, so my number 4 is that rent is preferred to be paid a year at a time. So at least a year in advance, right? And so there's good and bad things associated with that, right? So one of the good things is that once you pay your rent, you pay it for a whole year, and then you don't have to worry about rent for that year. Like your mind is free to kind of think of things that you can begin. So if you have a project you want to start, or if you have a business you want to begin, or something like that, you kind of have some time to kind of think through those ideas and work through those ideas, because you don't have that burden of the first is coming. I have to figure out my rent or pay my rent or make sure my rent is good. And so that is a bonus. And in coming from the United States, where rent is paid every month, right, month at a time, it's always that underlying thought of, oh, I have to pay rent, or I have to pay electricity, like always constantly have to pay rent, have to pay rent, have to pay rent. But to have it paid in a year in advance, it's just like, oh, okay. So I can kind of relax and think through different ideas that I have and kind of work through those and develop those and kind of, get those things up and going. All right. So one of the bad things though about that is that you have a whole year to pay for in the next year coming. So you have to make sure that you have enough money together to pay for the following year that's up and coming. And so though you have time to kind of sit and think about your ideas and work through those ideas and things like that. You have to know that you have to save up a large amount of money for the following year. And so that is one thing as well. So it's good that you're able to pay in advance for a year, but know that you have still, a whole entire other year to pay for once your lease is done. All right. And so that, my friends, my family, is number 4. All right. And so number 5 is there's a lot of building that's going on here in Ghana. There's a lot of building, homes, highways, businesses, communities, you name it, is going down. People are building here in Ghana. From the moment you step off the plane and out of the airport, you can see construction is everywhere. And so if you have the mindset of wanting to develop a legacy or leave an inheritance for your family, for your children, for your grandchildren, then you want to consider Ghana, right? Because right now people are building, right? And so if you come in as an investor now, it will be a lot cheaper as opposed to coming in when people have already built out things, right? And so if you're considering building a business, buying land and leaving an inheritance for your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, do so in Africa, in Ghana. The ability to do it is here, and it won't cost you a whole lot to do it, right? And so we'll get into more about things like that later on in our future talks. But please know that if you have the mindset of building, if you have the vision, if you're a visionary and you can look into the future and see how people are developing things and people are building, you want to put your money somewhere where it can grow, not only for you in the now, but for your children, your grandchildren in the future. You want to consider Ghana. Ghana is building and is coming up fast. People are building businesses. People are leaving legacies. People are leaving an inheritance, building and leaving an inheritance for their children, their children's children, their children's children's children. Okay. And so I want the same for you. So if you haven't considered investing in Ghana or Africa for that matter, you have to do it. You have to consider, even if it's something small, invest, put your money here, right? Buy land here, right? And have it to be able to pass down to your children, your children's children, and your children's children's children, in a place where no one can take it, in a place where it's yours, right? For an extended amount of time. And that is something that will continue on in your family, right? And so that is my number 5. There's a lot of building and investing that's going on here in Ghana, and I want you to be a part of it. All right, family. And so my number 6 is I've noticed that there are a lot of other nations that are here in Ghana or in Africa for that matter, but we're talking about Ghana. There's a lot of other nations that are here in Ghana. So in Ghana, you'll find Lebanese people, you'll find people from Russia, you'll find people from Turkey, you'll find people from India, you'll find people from where European countries. You'll find people here from everywhere, the Caribbeans, Jamaica, you name it, people are here. And so because all of these other nations, all of these other nationalities are here, I'm wondering to myself, why are we not here? Like as African diasporans, right? Why are we not here? And so my number six is this something that I noticed, and they're here by the busload. It's not like one or two people here. No, it's busloads of people that are here. And you have to wonder if they have their own countries, if they have their own continent and countries in their own area, why are they coming in busloads to Africa, right? And so they're coming to invest because they see the future, and the future is Africa, right? And so, what I want us to consider is that if other nations can see, oh, Africa has a lot of resources, they see what's going on in Western countries, and they see like the writing on the wall. If you're there in Western countries, you know exactly what I'm speaking about, right? If they can see that things are moving in a certain way, and they themselves have uprooted themselves and their families to come to Africa, then I have to ask, why are my brothers and sisters not doing the same? Why are we holding tight to Western countries that have mistreated us for so long, and not even consider Africa as a viable option, right? To for our children's children, right? And so that is my number six, something that I've noticed, that other nationalities, other nations are here, and I want us to be here as well, right? Because Africa is for Africans. And so if we don't come back and build and help our brothers and sisters to build here, right, and join together and be as one and build together, then guess what? Africa will no longer be for Africans. It will be for the other nations who have put their money here in Africa. And that's not what we want, family, right? Because if anything goes down in any other country, on any other continent other than Africa, if anything goes down in these places, and those nations, those people flock to Africa, where are we supposed to go as Africans if they're the majority in Africa and they're not for us? Where do we go? Right? Do we then go to Asia? Do we then go to uh, um, European countries? Like, no, 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 no. What we need to do, or what we should do, or what we should consider is building up Africa, because Africa is the original place that Africans come from. And so let's build together so that African diaspora, wherever you are, come back home, build here in Africa. Develop yourself here in Africa, not only for yourself, but for your children and your children's children, right? Because we have to be able to think outside of just ourselves. Consider the next generation. What will the world look like for them in the next 50, 100 years? What is the situation that they will have to deal with? What did we today leave behind for them, right? And let's not leave them by the wayside, right? Let's consider, oh, okay, a lot of other nations are moving to Africa. A lot of other nations are investing businesses and they're building their homes here in Africa, right? Not only just in Ghana, just in Africa. Like they're moving and they're building, they're developing, right? And so if they're the majority, right, and they get into political offices and they begin to build a political system within the continent, they will build them in favor of their own. They wouldn't build them in favor of Africans, right? They would build it in favor of their own. And then Africa would no longer be a continent for Africans. It would become a continent for Europeans. It would become a continent for China. It would be become a continent that's geared toward these different nations. Okay. And so that's my number six, something that I noticed, right? There are a lot of other people here from other nationalities, other nations, right? And so my desire and my want is for that we will wake up and understand the movement that's happening and how it's so important that we ourselves come together and say, listen, it's so much that's going on right now. Let me also invest in a place where my children can not worry about oppression, not worry about being stereotyped, not worry about having to deal with anxiety and things like that because other nations look down on them, because other nations don't value them, right? So build here in Africa, build in Ghana, set your roots down somewhere where if your children decide that they want to travel or see different countries or different nations, that's fine, but they know where home is, right? They know where they can come back to, and that's their home base. Have it to be on the continent of Africa, right? Because that's where they originate from, that's where their roots are from. All right. And so, guys, that's it. That's my number six. Okay. Number six, there's a lot of people from other nations and they're here on the continent of Africa. They're here in Ghana and they're building for the future. All right, guys. So that's all that I have for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Jezreel Talks. Six things that I noticed when I arrived in Ghana. All right. So I hope that these six things was something that made you think and consider different things, and gave you a curiosity about moving to Ghana or visiting Ghana or anything like that. So if you're interested in knowing how you can move to Ghana, knowing how you can explore Ghana or have an experience in Ghana, visit us on our website, www.jezreelresourcemanagement.com. And we have scouting trips available. We have day trips available. If you're looking to stay in Ghana for 30 days and have a 30-day experience in Ghana, we are here to help you do just that. Okay. And so we want more of our African diaspora brothers and sisters to come and experience Ghana firsthand. Come see for yourself. Come see with your own eyes, and help. We'll be here to help you understand and see the different things that's available to us, right? There's different options that we have, right? So we don't have to just really settle for being in the West, settling in the West. We have places where we can go where we don't have to worry about if we try to build wealth, somebody will come behind us and kind of tear it down and, um, oppress us, and we won't be able to leave legacies, and we won't be able to leave inheritance for generations to come. Okay. And so we at Jezreel Resource Management are here to help our African diasporans, our brothers and sisters, to relocate, move to Ghana, or at the least come and explore and see for yourself. All right, family. So that's all that we have for today. Thank you so much again for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing by clicking the notification bell so that you can be notified when new videos are posted, and also clicking that like button. All right, family. So, most high willing, I will see you next time.